name is Gerhard Schwartz. We have the Julie Thomas, who is the CEO of Value Selling Associates. Hi, Julie.
Hey Gerhard, how are you today?
You are kind enough to deliver a keynote at the Sales 3.0 conference in Las Vegas in a few weeks, September 7th and 8th. And you have something really new and exciting, and I like for the audience to learn it directly from you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today. And I'm so excited to be at the Selling Power 3.0 conference in Vegas. It's what, only 3 short weeks away.
Yeah.
We'll be the only thing that has me a little bit disappointed is that my new book, which is called The Power of Value Selling, the gold standard for driving revenue and creating customers for life, won't be available until just after Selling 3.0. My new book, Power of Value Selling, will be released by Wiley Publishing on September 20th. But I'll be giving a little bit of a preview to what's in it at your conference in Las Vegas.
Well, what is the, you've been at this, you're the gold standard for value selling, and you've done this for the last 3 decades, and so now the big question is, how do you prepare people for the new value selling? The power of value selling is going to be different. What is different?
Well, what's different, I think, is that in a world with digital acceleration and digital transformation, some have gotten away from the basics of human to human communication and how you uncover and connect to what your prospect values. And the power of value selling isn't about your ability to share your value proposition. Obviously, that's an important thing for you as a seller to know what is your value proposition. But a value proposition is really a broad promise to the marketplace on the direction you might be able to impact certain outcomes, key performance indicators, or business metrics. Value selling is taking that to Gerhardt and understanding in Gerhardt's world, in his organization, in the context of what is already happening in his organization, what is the quantifiable, believable outcome that can be expected from doing business with me. So it's a very customer specific engagement strategy to drive that conversation.
So what you're really saying is that with AI, ChatGPT, and all the technologies that are out there, there's one commodity that depends on H2H, which is trust, and the trust is established by showing the customer not how much you know, but how much you understand about the customer.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, there is a great role for AI in all different types of technology that are going to help the sales professional be more effective and better prepared for that engagement. But ChatGPT can't AI your way out of a bad
Right,
sales call. At
right.
some point, you still have to show up, and you, the sales professional, end up being part of that value proposition. Am I adding value to you, Gerhard, in a way that you are willing to spend more time with me, or am I subtracting from you, in which case you're probably never going to return my call again?
Right, right.
People
I think
spend their time before they spend their money.
yeah, you said it earlier. Personalization is so critical, and ChatGPT is not always up to speed on the latest of what is happening in the client situation. So you still have to do your homework, and you still have to be the you're the rider of the horse, and AI is the horse, but you need to direct it. And
Right. And in business to business today, we're rarely dealing with a single buyer. Most of our clients are multi-threading their opportunities, which means they're talking to four or five or six or seven people and trying to build consensus. So I want Gerhard and his four or five colleagues to come to the same conclusion that doing business with me is the best option for them.
right,
And in order to do that, all four or five of those people may have different reasons to come to that
right.
conclusion. So I need
But
to understand that.
yeah, I think there's another issue in the ways and the processes by which training is delivered have changed dramatically over the last few years due to COVID because everything became virtual. And now it's sort of blended. There is some virtual, but there's still some personal part. So, how have you, as a sales training company, delivered more value over the last 2 years to your clients?
Well, first of all, just like everybody else, on a dime in March of 2020, we had to move from what was 100% face to face training delivery and consulting delivery to 100% virtual. And you can't just take what works face to face and move it to virtual. We had to re-engineer it from the bottom up for our participants to actually learn our programs and be able to demonstrate the behaviors associated with our program. So everything changed overnight. How people communicate changed overnight, right?
Yeah,
You had field reps that thought they only could be face to face with a customer. And what's beautiful about face to face with a customer is you had all of the time surrounding the meeting to build a relationship.
right,
Or if you had the luxury of having a meal with that prospect, you could mix business and personal and really develop that relationship, develop that trust, get to know each other as people. What happened in virtual communication is we lost that. We lost that ability to have the chit chat as we were walking in the conference room, or the chit chat as we left the conference room, or or all of the non-structured meeting times that used to happen on the fly. um, and even though we had good virtual, we lost some of that. So we had to learn how to fill those blanks differently. And people did it in a different number of different ways.
yeah,
I've seen sales calls where people are chatting one on one while there's a group presentation going on, and they're finding ways to do that. Um, that informal communication, which builds trust. You trust people typically that demonstrate ability, dependability, consistency, and capability. That's what generates trust. Do I know how you're going to show up and what to expect from you? That's consistency. Are you dependable? If you say you're going to do something, do you do it? That's another way I build trust. Do
right.
I trust that you can even do what you said you can do? If you tell me, hey, Julie, I'm putting on this fabulous event in Vegas and you've never done it before, I might have a couple questions about that.
Right.
And how are you going to do that? So it's those, all of those things together create trust. And at the end of the day, we don't do business with people we don't trust.
Oh,
We just don't
absolutely.
as
Yeah,
humans. We won't.
right.
We'll find another way to get it done. And so if I don't trust the person I'm selling to, I'm going to find something else at that company to trust in order to be successful.
Well, I can't wait to see you in Vegas live on stage, and we also have the COO of the Year awards, and we're going to celebrate those winners. But we also have the Sales Enablement Excellence Awards, and it's going to be the first time we are doing this for the sales enablement profession. And we have about 21 submissions already, and they are phenomenal. So there's a lot of emphasis on creating a sales enablement department that measurably impacts revenues. And that's what we are all about. We want to help people win, and we want to help people accelerate sales, but and also we want to help salespeople engage customers on a much higher level. And what I see is that technology, it's always about people, process, and technology. And technology is like medicine; it has side effects. Why? Because technology tends to be transactional, and there's something missing if we just relate to people through technology.
Well, I mean, I agree. And there are unintended side effects of technology, but communication is the same at some point. And technology has a great role in sales. Don't and we use technology in my company. We use it to
Yeah.
automate certain things. We use it to amplify our message and schedule those things. We use it to accelerate our ability to do research, to prepare for a call. All of those things make technology are making us more productive.
Yeah.
And we still have to show up and be our best self, be prepared for those meetings, add value to the individual we're communicating with, actively listen. Even if I'm transcribing my call, I still have to actively listen in the call itself to clarify and make sure I understand in all of those things. And technology can't replace us. Like
Yeah.
we are the salesperson is not going away. Our jobs may evolve as they have from day one, but we're not going away for the types of things that most of our customers sell. We don't want to deal with bots. We don't want to deal with somebody if they haven't already taught it the answer to the question and I ask the question a different
Right.
way,
Right.
I don't get the answer.
I think you bring up an excellent point. Even with transcripts, you have great content that you can review, so you can decide on the right action steps. But tone of voice, for example, is not recorded by Gong.io, and the feelings and attitudes expressed by the customer are communicated to 38% with tone of voice. So there's a missing element. So salespeople still need to use their what I call nonverbal selling power on top of the transcript to make the right moves.
No, agreed. I mean, way back in the day when I first had communication class at university, way back in the day, we were taught that when you're communicating a message, only 7% is the actual words you say.
Right.
So the transcription will capture those words.
Yeah.
But to your point, 93% of the rest of your message is speed, tone, volume, body language. I have two young adult children, and when they were in high school, if they came home and slammed their book bag on the kitchen counter, and I asked them, "How are you?" and they said, "Fine," and marched out, I didn't believe the words. I
Right.
believed the actions.
Right.
And I think that is true now. And Gong.io and many of these conversational intelligence, they are developing the ability to measure what they call sentiment. So
Yes.
they can measure, hey, Julie seems to be bored with this conversation. She's looking over here or looking there, or she raised her voice or she leaned in. So maybe she's more interested in this part of the
Mhm.
conversation. Um, but but I think the human ability, we don't even pick that up in our mind, right? It's
Yeah.
subtle
It's
that we
unconscious.
know,
Yeah.
is this working or isn't it working, and how do I adjust? I think we're not going away. We are not going away. We will still be here in this profession. Um,
And
one of the whoops, sorry.
there's an NIH study that says that salespeople are engaged in self-talk. So the average person experiences about 60,000 words a day, and 80% of those self-talk messages are negative. So that's another component when you are speaking with a customer. what's going on through your mind, why you are communicating, and customers pick it up.
Well, absolutely. And whenever there's a gap in understanding, we fill in, we always fill in, and it's human nature. You fill it in with the worst scenario, right?
Right.
Oh, he hasn't called me back. This person hasn't called me back. Oh, I must have done something to make him angry. Oh, they must be going in a different direction. Oh, they must have changed their mind. We never fill in the gap with, oh gosh, maybe he's on vacation this week. Maybe it has nothing to do with me as to
Yeah.
why he's not calling me back. So it is an interesting thing, and most of us, if we talk to ourselves, if we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves, we wouldn't be friends with each other.
Right.
Most of us are like, you idiot, how could you do that? What are you thinking? Da, 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 da. And we wouldn't, and you would never say that out loud to another person, or
Right.
shouldn't say it out loud to another person.
It's really amazing. There's so much to learn, Julie, and that's why we love selling, because there's so many nuances. And anybody who wants to get exposed to great keynote speakers like Julie and probably 25 others, sign up for Sales 3.0. You get a free code so you can attend virtually at no cost, or you come to Vegas and see Julie live. I, and also go to Amazon.com and pre-order Julie's book now. It's probably going to be the gold standard for the next 10 years.
Well, thank you. We're really excited about it. We're getting some great feedback from the marketplace. And let's face it, when there is economic uncertainty, and I think we can all agree that no one really knows what's going on economically right now. There's
Right.
way too many variables. So when there's that uncertainty, people become risk averse.
Yeah.
So sellers have to get better at helping build the case for change. And the power of value selling is a field guide to help you understand what does it take to overcome the risk in the buyer's mind and sell change. Whatever you're selling change, and do that in a way that makes it easy for them to justify the expenditure.
Well, I had the privilege of reading an advance copy of your book, and honestly, I'm so impressed with what you have created, and I can't wait to see you in Vegas and hear your keynote. And I hope that all of you that's listening right now, please join us. Use that QR code and sign up. Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Gerhard. Have a fabulous rest of the day. See you in a few weeks.